In this section, we're going to talk about the process of wiring up an event handler to an event. Now, you've probably double-clicked on a button, or maybe you've gone into the Properties window, gone to that lightning bolt icon in Visual Studio and double-clicked on an event there, and it kind of wired everything up for you. Well, we're going to talk through what actually goes on behind the scenes here and how we can actually create an instance of a delegate and attach it into an event. So we're going to focus on the right side of the big picture here. So we have an event handler, we have an event raiser, and somehow we need to get the data from point A over to point B. And that, of course, is going to be done through our pipeline, our delegate. So we're going to talk about how we can actually instantiate a delegate and attach it and make it so that as data comes along that pipeline, that it gets dumped into our handler method. So when it comes to the delegate and the handler method parameters, I showed something like this earlier in the course, but I'm going to review it again one more time here. So the delegate signature has to be mimicked by the handler. So if we have object sender, work perform event args, then as that data goes along the pipeline, of course the event handler method must also have object sender, work performed event args, otherwise it won't compile. So it's kind of one of those things I always joke that you really don't have to worry if you mess it up because the compiler will catch you and you'll have to fix it to make it work. So in this example, we have a manager work performed, and notice that we have an object, and we have work performed event args and work performed event args, and those two must match up, of course. So how do you actually attach a delegate into an event, though? Well, if you've ever double-clicked on the button and gone behind the scenes and looked, and I showed this in the very first section of the course, then you'll know that it actually instantiates a delegate and wires it up to the event, and that's what we have to do. So here's an example of using the plus equals operator to attach an event to an event handler. So in this case, we have some worker object, and we'd like to know when is the work performed event fired. When it is, we're going to write the code to say route the data along this pipeline, this delegate, and dump it into this event handler method. And so in this case, I'm not using a custom delegate. I'm using the built-in event handler of T, and that'll make the delegate, as we talked about earlier in the course, for us. And now what'll happen is we attach, then when the event fires, this particular method will be called, of course. Now, all that's happening then is this pipeline, this delegate, is being registered with the work performs delegate and added into the invocation list. As the event fires, it walks through that list, and if there's only one, then it obviously only just dumps the data down one pipeline. If there was 5 objects in that invocation list, then all 5 of them would get it, as we've talked about earlier in the course. So it's really simple actually to attach to an event. So let's take a look at a quick demo of doing this with our custom work performed and work completed events.